Hey there, this is Jules. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today we are doing a baby project, so I'm inviting you to come and sew with me. So I have a friend whose daughter just had a new baby boy and she made these bibs for him. I was like so excited to see it because this is the kind of style that I was looking at trying to find a pattern for. I asked her if I could borrow it and she said yeah. So let me show you how I made mine, along with some bibs and burp rags and a teether. So these are what I started with. These are all 2-ply. I also bought this cream one that is, it's 4 layers, so it's nice and thick. The first thing that I did was wash them 2 or 3 at a time in the delicate cycle. It's always recommended to wash your fabrics anyways before you do anything to them. I did this to all of them. So once I washed them and dried them, I did a very light iron to every single piece.
Bonita las alitas, huh?
Yeah, they're so pretty. I like this one too. It's so soft. I mean, they're super simple projects.
¿Cómo va a ser? ¿Así como está?
It goes on like this. And this is in the front, so it goes like this. But they're cute.
Yes.
But I'm gonna use these for in between all of them.
O para que esté más gruesecito.
I want it to be thick because I mean, like Naya, she slobbers so much.
Ahorita va a salir un montón.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a lot out of these. There's this pink one. I love this one. Look how cute that is. It's a dream catcher. It says Moonchild, but it's so pretty. And they're not too thin. I mean, they're thin to like that is doble dos de estas. Because look at this. Look how thick that is.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's 4-ply.
Oh yeah.
So I want to put one of these in between them all. So it's going to be fluffy, but I don't care. I want it to come out really nice. Monique loves this color, so I want to make, those are mainly for her. The gray is mainly for Alyssa and some of the pink, but I am going to send some pink ones for the baby too.
Inclusive puede ser un lado gray y un lado pink.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Te va a salir bastante porque ¿cuántas ya recibiste?
I think I got either 2 or 3 yards of each of them. So I want to make some bibs and some burp rags.
Puedes plancharlos en dos, doblando en dos.
Oh, I guess I could, huh?
Yeah.
So after ironing every single one, I did go back to Joann's and get another different design. So I'll show that later on. So I got the already made bib that my friend made and I just cut it out, leaving a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. And I already cut all of the greenery ones out. That was kind of my pancake batch, but I just wanted to show you guys how I created a pattern with the already made one that my friend let me borrow. So opening the Moonchild fabric, I just laid 2 of these rags already across it, and it's cut at 18 inches long, and then I cut it in half, and then I cut off the excess. That way there's no fabric wasted or anything. And these measure 18 inches by 12 inches. Rolling it out again, I'm gonna lay down some of the bibs, and I'll just cut out a couple here. I do pin it down or try to pin it down. That way it doesn't shift too much. Sometimes after cutting, if there is an area where I can use to cut out on the washcloth, I do that. And I did have a lot of extra washcloths, so that was fun. And I was trying to see if I can fit another cut in this strip, but it didn't fit. It was a little too narrow. So I have I found a free pattern actually for a rabbit ear teether. And that's what I cut out there. And now the solid pink. This is going to be either the backing or the stuffing for those. Now these little washcloths are 7 by 8. That's just kind of, I don't know how I figured that out, but it worked and it was fine for the width and length and stuff of the fabric. Now we're going to cut some of the solid pink for the Moonchild. Now again, those are either stuffings or backings. I use this cream one here that's a little bit thicker for some of the stuffing, and then I use some of it for the backing with some pink in the stuffing, if that makes sense. All right, we're gonna do the cream for the bib, and I do cut more than this. This one, I just have to divide it so that I can make sure that I'm not sewing 4 of them together instead of having 2 separate ones. Sometimes there is an area where like a long strip that I can cut to use for the teether rings. And you know, I thought those were a little bit kind of big, but I'm going to show you here. So I was just really curious about the size because it looked big, and I talked to my mom here about it because she was visiting at the time. But I start to sew still about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, leaving a 2 inch opening so I can turn it inside out, and I'll show you that in a second. And the opening I leave at the neck of the pattern, so just below an ear. And I have pinking scissors, I forgot about it, but this is typically to just get rid of bulk at the corners. And I mean, it helps. So sometimes I have to use a bone folder to kind of, because I couldn't get all the way down there. Just gently pushing the other end out of the hole. Normally when you do this, the fabric looks like puffy. So I've been taught to press it to get it nice and flat, just so that you can get like the true shape. Using the bone folder, I go in to kind of flatten down the seams, and then just press it to get it all flat again. Now that opening, you want to just try and fold it, and you can spray it with water if you need to, but you try and fold it to fit the shape that it's supposed to be, and iron that down to crease it so it stays. And I'll show you a little close-up in a little bit right there. I tried my best to get them as straight as I could. You close that, and I do use the reverse button at both ends to keep it secure. And I think it's kind of big. I'm going to talk to my mom about it here. Just get her thoughts. I think it's too big. I think I need to make them smaller. So you hold this and then you just chew on that.
Yeah. Está bonito.
It's cute, but it's very, very floppy. Yeah. But I think I'm going to cut this down a little bit smaller because I think it's too big. And when I was looking at it, I'm like, you know what? This is kind of a big pattern. Mm-hmm. It's 10 inches.
A ver, mira, así. Este pedacito. Habrán dos aquí. Entonces serán de este tamaño, mira. Much better.
Yeah, just a couple of inches down lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that's a better size.
Aunque así no se mira más.
No?
No,
I think it looks...
Que tiene más para jalar, más para jugar.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So I have 6 of these, 3 for each girl. And still looking at it, I took it off the ring because I'm like, you know what? I want to do another detail. So I went in about a 1/2 inch and sewed another border inside just to give it a little bit more design, I guess, or texture. And I used that sage green thread. It looks super pretty. So I liked it. So I did find a smaller pattern that I'll use here to cut the rest of them. This is the pink Moonchild fabric. And I'm just going to cut those out so that I can have them ready to go with the rest of all of the pink stuff that I cut out. Just so you know, this took quite a few days to get all done. But look at that pile. And that's not the only pink pile. This is a pink pile with either the pink backing or the cream backing. And I have to go through these each one by one to get all the layers right and pin it. All right, so we're going to start with the bib. I'm going to start about 3 to 4 inches from the corner. And I'll do a reverse and forward stitch to start and get it locked in at the beginning. And then follow it all the way down and around. I'm still remembering that we have to be at a 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. Those curves are a little tricky for me, but I get it. Almost at the corner. All right, one last turn, and we're gonna go all the way, stopping about 2 inches from the beginning. Now I lost the clip to that pink, that one. So we're gonna pick up at the green one and then go back to the pink, okay? So we're gonna do the pinking again to get the bulk from the corners of the bib. And this one is just a little bit easier to turn inside out because it just does it like a sock. So it was pretty easy. Then we're going to go back and press it like we did the teether ring thing. And sometimes, again, I have to put a little bit of like spray water in there and just fold them down, taking the iron on it, increasing it to fit the shape. Make sure it's the nice straight line on both sides. And you get it all pressed in there. My mom used to always tell me that if I did that as best as I could, that it would be easier to stitch and close it. So that's what I do. All right, back to the pink one. They're all pressed and ready. I just have to do the closure. You see the opening there? And I'm just going to push it over just a tiny bit. And we're going to do a forward and reverse stitch on both ends, ensuring that it's locked and stitched really well. Make it secure. And we're almost done here with this one. I don't like that shows, but I mean, there's really nothing you can do. That's the only way I know how to do it. So now for this one, I'm going in about 1.25 inches, 1.5 maybe, to do that inside stitch mark design that I really liked. For this one, I think I used the pink backing, if I'm not mistaken, and so I used the pink thread for this one to kind of pop. Now for this one, I love this one. This is the Sun, Moon, and Stars gray one that I put the teal behind, and I did a coordinating thread with it so that it gives that color pop again. There they are. And you'll see for the burp rags here, I did 2 inside stitch lines because I think that it looked really nice. they were big enough to take 2 stitches, so 2 inside stitches, so I think they were really pretty. So we're not done yet because now the bibs need the snaps for them, so let's go there. So I'm going to use this easy attacher kit. It's a Dritz brand. I'll talk a little bit more about it here, but it takes a size 15 and 16 size snap. So I just wanted to show you guys me using this. So this is the Dritz brand easy attacher kit for snap fasteners, which are these little guys. It's typically a 4-part, so 2 on each side of a piece of fabric for your little snaps for like the bibs that I'm doing here. Easy attach kit. It was $8.99 and I'm still for $5.39. I do like the Dritz brand easy attacher kit. You do need a little hammer. I just pulled out my little basics kit by Imaginisc and I have this little hammer. Hopefully I don't hit it too hard and then I break the darn thing. So we're going to use 2 of them. The top one will be the one with the snaps. Just align it. We're going to swing it around upside down. So this is the right side of the bib. So I have a grease pen and I do my marks on top of the design to where the snaps are supposed to go. Now we're going to flip it over and switch them around and turn it so that now you're working on the left side of the bib. And on the backing is where you're going to do your marks where the buttons go. And this is if you're doing the same style of bib that I am, but there are other simpler free downloadable patterns that you can use. And this is what I did because I wasn't marking correctly and they were showing through the circles. Anywho, all right, so this is a Dritz brand eyelets. These are size 15s. So what I did is I pierced it through onto where the marking is with that ring with the prongs. And I do push the prongs through the fabric as best as I could. Then we're going to use the button. So the back side of that button is going to go into the prongs. So make sure the button is sticking out. And we're going to set it inside of the size 15 hole. And I double check it, make sure it's sitting flat. And then we're just going to hammer it. It doesn't take a lot of force either. There's a second one. Now on the other side, I'm just going to skip the first one. Done. Okay, second one, piercing again through the marking. We're going to do again the white ring with the prongs. That's like the cover or the top. Push the fabric through and then we're going to get the other side. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like on both sides. So you want to do the top left, not the bottom left. The bottom left is for where the button goes into. Making sure that it's in there. And trust me, I probably did so many mistakes the first like 4 or 5 until I got the rhythm going. And now they work together. Look at that. Let me put that together and they fit nice. All right. I am all done. I'm just going to sift through them and separate which ones are for Naya and which ones are for Camilla. But I'm so happy with all of it. I learned a lot through this because I'm not a sewer and I never claimed to have been a sewer. So this is not a tutorial. This is just showing you how I did it. So thank you for stopping by and watching. All of the links are down below. Additional information over on my blog and detailed pics. See you in the next video, you guys. Bye.